the crowd, the Macho King, baby! Ooh, we're talking all things wrestling from the top rope to the squared circle, oh yeah! So get ready to feel the intensity! I just threw all my shits. I got a little too into it there. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. That's why we don't do Macho Man anymore. I got shit all over the floor now. I'm Dakota. We got our normal co-host, John, and three-haired on top Ken. John, introduce our guest real quick while I figure out where all my stuff went.
All right. Welcome, friend in the strongman side of things, Joe. He is my teammate with Renegade Rhino. Joe, how's it going, buddy?
It's good, man. Yeah, John reached out to me and said the podcast was lacking in the beard and girth department, so he asked me to join.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. While Dakota gets his notes ready that he has thrown all over the floor after the aneurysm he just gave himself, we got 4 bits of breaking news. Ken, we're gonna go ahead and start off with you, man. What do you got for us?
Where is Alexa Bliss? Question everybody's asking themselves right now. We've not seen her since the Royal Rumble. We've not gotten any mentions of her, from the outlets or anything. I know there's been a lot of people tweeting where she's at. The only real response she has given was back on March 10th. We got a tweet that says, "Tired of seeing these tweets," referring to like people saying she's on a hiatus. I am not on a hiatus. They know where to find me. I don't know if she's referring to the media. I don't know if she's referring to WWE, but we have not seen Alexa Bliss since the Rumble. And I hate everything about it.
Right. It's a shame she's been gone. Joel, what do you got for us, man?
Well, man, I think the question after Raw last night is what is going to happen if Roman Reigns doesn't show up at WrestleMania. For anyone who didn't watch it, Cody Rhodes showed up, crashed the show a little bit last night, and holy shit did he have some words for Roman Reigns. Gave him a fantastic call out, and Roman shot back, but before he could, Cody came in hot, and he warned him. He said, if you lose, everyone else is leaving. The Usos are leaving. Solo's leaving. Hana's going to be a free agent. So, I think the question there is, if Roman loses, is he going to stick around and try to kick it out, or is he gonna take a bit of a hiatus? Honestly, I think if what Cody predicts is true, then I think we're the only reasonable thing that Roman can do in that situation. Right now the bloodline's strong, but if the bloodline falls apart, he's just Roman Reigns again, and the safest thing would probably be to drop back and punt if it were up to me. Because that's what he's got right now. Once you lose the dynasty, you got to rebuild. And I think trying to stand on his 2 feet without the Usos, without Solo, without Paul there right behind him, I think it's going to look sad. It's going to look defensive. It's not going to maintain the image that he's built so well over the last few years.
Right. Good points there. Dakota, what do you got for our news?
And a bit of news that only 6 people are sad about and Bret Hart is celebrating for. Goldberg is no longer with the WWE, so I guess we don't have to worry about him kicking somebody's head into the 3rd row. I don't think anybody's really sad to hear that. He, as old as he is, he's not going to be putting on any good matches anywhere. Still a better worker than Mercedes Moné, though, so...
Fair point. So, to end out our little bit of news, Bray Wyatt, still unsure on what his status is. For the love of God, don't show up to WrestleMania. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, we don't need to see that. We don't need to see Bobby Lashley squash whatever is left of the Firefly Funhouse and the stupid ass puppets. But We'll go ahead and throw it to the Raw rundown, and we'll go ahead and start off with what started off Raw. We had the Usos accepting the challenge from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We'll go ahead and throw it to Joel. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh man, well, I mean, I think the Usos. I like seeing the Usos back together, man. I'm not too confident about what Jay's going to be doing with them. So, I mean, Sammy's got he's got a good ally there with Kevin, and I mean, I'm going to be honest. With the way Kevin's been fighting recently, and Sammy's on a streak right now, he's confident. He's doing a solo thing. Like, the Usos seem a little divided to me, and so I'm not. As much I love the Usos, man. I'm Bloodline all the way. Absolutely love it. But I think going into WrestleMania, I've got probably a little more confidence in the way that Kevin and Sami are strutting right now, man. They got an energy about them. They got a fresh team together. There's something about that new team energy that you just can't argue with. Kevin's a lethal fighter when he shows up. Sami's strong and fast right now, and there's too much division in the Uso household, I think. So right now, my hope is, as much as I'd love to see the Usos pull it together, maybe they will, but it's looking like a Sami and Kevin show.
Yeah, and what you think, bud?
I mean, he hit pretty much all the same things I was thinking. The only thing that I would add to it is I think the big part of this was Jay accepted the challenge. Jimmy was telling him no. Jay was the one who accepted it, and he had to answer to Roman afterwards, about being in the bloodline and making decisions and stuff. So I think that's to come back and kick somewhere down the road. But for me, I think that was the biggest takeaway was Jimmy was we're not doing it, no, and then Jay was the one that came in and accepted it. So. They're going to lose. They're going to lose the titles. I think Roman's going to turn it on to Jay, and Jay's going to have to suffer the consequences of it.
Yoda, what you think, bud?
Ken kind of brought up the one thing I noticed about it with Jay was the one specifically that answered it. So maybe this is still all some convoluted plan for Jay to be the one to actually take down Roman, which I am perfectly fine with, honestly.
You're saying take down with titles too, or are you just saying take down all the way?
No, we all know Cody's winning the titles. I hope Cody wins the titles. Give me something fucking fresh in WWE in the title scene, please.
That's fair. Next, we had what I thought was match of the night. Austin Theory versus Montez Ford. Certified banger of a match. I'm going to throw it to Dakota. What's your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, it's Montez Ford. Anytime he's in the ring, it's going to be one hell of a fucking match. And the more and more you watch him, the more and more you need to eventually give this man a singles run of some sort because he just outworks almost anybody else you put him in the ring with.
Right. Ken, what's your thoughts, man?
I think, it's the future between those two. As much as I hated the selfie theory, this new theory we've been getting has been a lot better. Still pandering to his strengths, but kind of still showing that strong heel. But I think they're both definitely big parts of the future moving forward.
Absolutely. Joel, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, I'm with you. That was absolutely one hell of a fight. I got to say, I think the show of athleticism that Montez put on in that fight, I don't know how many other matches I've seen recently where anyone was that explosive. I mean, he was 15 feet in the air. He was flying. He was bouncing. It was just an absolute fantastic display of strength and athleticism. I always love watching Montez fight. I'll say for Austin, man, he's to me, he's always given some bitch energy there. But I got to say, even just from a muscle mass level, man, he's looking big. He's putting on some weight. He's getting a little angrier. I don't like saying it because I'm not a huge Theory fan, but I think he's earning a little respect, man. He's showing up. He's doing the work. His spitting game's getting a little bit better. So he was looking fierce. He was looking fierce out there. He showed up in a way I was not expecting from him against Montez, and he gave Montez one hell of a fight. So I agree with you, man. I think that is, if not absolutely the most, definitely contender for best card of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, Theory is looking a lot bigger. I think he's been hitting the gym a little harder.
Been
I'm
hitting
so
something a
glad.
little harder.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the trend. It could be the test. Who knows? Yeah, he's also getting better on the mic though. He used to not be so good on the mic. He's definitely doing something different. Moving on though, we had Roman meeting with the rest of the bloodline. You could really see the rift in this. And Jimmy standing up for his brother in this. He looked he looked upset with Roman the way he was talking to him, like he was talking at him, not talking to him. Dakota, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I really don't have a thought on it. It's just more of a I just want to see how it plays out.
That's fair. Joel, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Man, I respect what Roman was trying to do in the locker room. There's obviously been a lot of division in the family recently. We saw that, him trying to bring Solo in a little bit there at the end, which we'll talk about. I respect what he was trying to do, man. He was trying to bring him back into the fold after all this division, all that's been going on. To me, the thing that stood out of that conversation, this may be a small thing, but it's just what stuck out. At the end, when Roman says "I love you" and got nothing back, and to me, what that said is, Roman. I think Roman knows the position he's in. He's risky, man. Cody Rhodes. That's not an easy fight by any means. The American Nightmare is looking fierce. And if Roman doesn't have his squad with him, he doesn't have the bloodline behind him, he's not going to fare well. So I think he's trying to bring him back in, but I don't think he's getting the results he wants. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of that insecurity there. I won't be surprised if that kind of follows him into the match at WrestleMania. So I did not walk away from that interaction as confident as I would have liked to be.
Yeah. Ken, what you got to say, man?
I'll get mine pretty quick. It's pretty much touching on what you said earlier. Again, we go back to when Jay addressed the crowd after he returned. A lot of what Jimmy was saying was at Roman, and then he kind of hit it with the "I'll never forgive Sammy for that." I think that was more towards Roman, and then just covered up by saying "never forgive Sammy." So I think they're making Sammy the bad guy, but ultimately I think it all is going to crumble under Roman's feet, and I think it's going to be one of those things where they come down to the ring and they don't help and they just stand there and watch him lose. And then we go from there.
Right. Next we had Omos in a squash match versus Mustafa Ali. We're gonna go ahead and move on from that one.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, they really hyped up the Brock Lesnar match with Omos. I'm the only one in this podcast that think that's going to be a good match, but it is what it is. So we had Logan Paul cutting a promo and then knocking out Seth Rollins at the end of it. Boys, you have any thoughts on that one?
Let's get to the match already.
All right. So then we had Dominic Mysterio versus Johnny Gargano, and this was the surprising match of the night. My personal opinion, I thought this was really, really, really fucking good. Dominic has gotten so much better in the ring, and then after the match, he cut a good promo on Ray. I think he's getting really good at that too. He's got a lot of heat from the crowd. Big potential to be a mega heel. Ken, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I concur with everything you just said. We talked about in the group chat while we're watching it. He's definitely gotten way better in the ring. He seems more comfortable now. So I'm happy to see what happens with him after the WrestleMania. I don't know what the plan is with him moving forward, but I'm excited to see what he does.
Absolutely. Joe, what's your thoughts on him, man?
Same thing, man. I think heel's the word for Dominique. I think he's really setting up well to be that, and I say that because I think he's been such a little turd for a long time. Broke my heart to see him leave Mysterio. I mean, it's Mysterio, right? He's an absolute legend. So seeing the way he's been running after his dad has been hurtful. I respect what Mysterio's doing, trying to steer clear of it, but no, I thought it was a fantastic match. Man, I thought our Gargano gave him a really good fight. I think he put him down 3 or 4 times really solidly. But just Dominique showed up at the end of the fight, took him down with that frog splash, and it was a good fight from Dominique. Man, he's looking fast, he's looking aggressive. He can. I think the promising thing for me for that fight for Dominique is that he took a whooping from Johnny. Johnny came in hot, man. He did not hold back. But Dominique took hit and just kept on going. And then when Johnny wore down a little bit, he came in Rocky style and took him out. So I don't like to say it because I can't stand Dominic, but man, he did show up, and hats off to how he showed up in the ring last night.
Fair point, man. Dakota, what's your thoughts on him, man?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's hard to come up with shit when you all just kind of say everything I've been thinking. It's like, Dakota, what do you think? The very nice. My wife.
We got Hook with it last week, or the week before last. Hook was the same way. So we'll let you throw it off next time, Dakota. You're starting the next one. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hook.
Just let me sit here and just kind of vibe. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the vibes. Just the vibes, fellas.
So next we had Rhea Ripley versus Bayley. This was another one of those sneaky good matches that we thought we weren't going to get to see much here. Rhea Ripley basically fought in street clothes. But you know what? We're going to start with Dakota on this. What'd you think of it, bud?
One more time. Sorry, the mother texted me. I'm trying to answer that one. What's up?
What'd you think of Rhea Ripley versus Bayley?
Thank God it ended in a match and I didn't have to listen to Damage Control for longer than I ever wanted to. But Bayley's the only good thing about that stupid little faction. She can work in the ring. She's not bad on the mic, but it wasn't terrible to watch.
Yeah.
Didn't really see why they brought her into it, just to set up more stuff with the Bayley and Trish and Lita things, but wasn't the worst Damage Control segment I've ever seen, I can tell you that.
That is fair. Ken, what's your thoughts on it, man?
I'd like to concede my time to Dakota so he can go on a little bit longer.
All right then, motherfucker. Ken, this is what I really
No, I really think that Rhea is going to be the future. I mean, I really do. I mean, she's good on the mic. She's a powerhouse in the ring. She plays the heel role really well, but I just say Rhea future. That's all I see. So.
Yep. Joel, you got any thoughts on that, man?
I'll say this, man. For as much as I dislike Dominic, I absolutely love Rhea. I think, just like you said, man, she is an absolute powerhouse. She brings a strength and aggression, a ferocity to the ring that I really like seeing out of a fighter. I'm glad. I think it was a good touch for Raw last night that we got to see her fight, especially following on the heels of the Dominic fight. I think it presented a really good picture, a really good image for their group going into WrestleMania. So I think they're heading in with a strong front, man. Those are 2 fights where both Dominic and Rhea took a whooping on the front end. I mean, and Rhea took some hits. I mean, she got chucked out of the ring. She got whooped on. Bayley put the hurt on her. Full credit where credit's due. But just like Dominic, man, Rhea came back. And so, I love a strong fighter, but I think a fighter that can take a beating and come back is a fighter that's actually going to end up winning in the long run, because those WrestleMania matches are going to be long. They're evenly matched. They're brutal. So if you can't take a whole lot of punches, you ain't going to last very long.
Yep. We got to see, there's a point nobody hit on. We got to see a rare heel versus heel match where both heels are at the top of their game. That was nice to see. We hardly get to see that or face versus face. Either way, very nice to see. Next we had Chad Gable versus Ricochet. Ricochet getting the win. Otis getting lured away by Maxine with the Maxim Mill models. Our boy Otis is a dog. I absolutely love seeing Otis, man. He's just out there doing stuff.
That's all he does. He doesn't do anything else outside of that stuff. Like, he hardly wrestles. Like, he literally is, and he's still a beloved character. So that just goes to show how good he is.
Yeah. You had any more thoughts on that, Ken?
I'm good. I'm good on that one. It was a good match. 2 high flyers.
Right. Joe, you got anything on that one, man?
Yeah, no, I mean it was a brutal match. I was excited when Otis picked his boy, and then not surprised when he left halfway through the match. So, I mean, well earned win from on that side, and yeah, nothing real big to say about it other than that.
Yeah, Otis has got that dog in him.
Yeah, oh boy, he does.
Dakota, you got anything, man?
It's Otis now, motherfuckers. That's about all I got.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't followed Otis on social media, he has officially changed his name.
Oh, cool.
He's got a couple accent marks on there to let you know what his real name is.
You know what, man? Good for him. That's all I got to say. Good for him.
Yeah. A couple years ago it was Mandy Rose. Now it's Maxine. Shout out to Otis. Next we had Asuka and Bianca versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Bianca had a good show of strength there, KODing Piper. And then Asuka, after the match, turned on Bianca. Honestly, I thought the KOD on Piper was a great show of strength. It was one of the highlights of the night. Dakota, we're going to go ahead and start with you, man. What's your thoughts on it?
It was definitely a good match. I'm just kind of ready for the WrestleMania match between Asuka and Bianca at this point. I loved Bianca when she was chasing for the title. Now with her holding the title, it just kind of seems stale. So I don't know. I think just having her drop it would probably just refresh things for her and probably get me back into her character once again because it just honestly feels stale at this point.
Yeah.
But the KOD was very impressive and good match overall.
Yeah. Our former co-host really hit this point before he left us. Bianca is better as a chaser than actually winning the title. It's true. I mean, but if you're tuning in, that's the one great point you made.
But the rest of the shit you said.
Yeah, the rest of the stuff you're just talking. But anyways, Joel, what's your thoughts on this, bro?
Oh man, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say I have loved watching Bianca chase. She's fucking ferocious, man. She is absolutely lethal. She's brutal, and it does feel like she's gotten a little stale up on the top. So honestly, I want her to lose the title. If for no other reason, then I want to see her get kicked down and crawl back up. Because seeing her lose that title, face that humiliation, and then work her way back up to the top, I think will be one of the best stories we've seen in WWE in a little bit.
That's fair. Ken, what's your thoughts on it, bro?
You know, the match itself, you know, the KOD was a highlight for me, but here's my thoughts. And you keep Bianca on top of Raw. I say Rhea beats Charlotte, right? And then I think you have a champion versus champions match between the two biggest powerhouses since China in the wrestling. Mm-hmm. Rhea takes the first one, puts Bianca on the chase, and then you set that match up for SummerSlam.
Let this man cook. Yeah, I absolutely love that idea. Just unify the Raw and SmackDown titles.
Yeah.
I actually like that idea. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Gold.
Excuse me. Next, we had the Cody and Roman promo. Ken, I'm going to let you give the rundown on this since Cody is your boy.
Well, I mean, you know, it's all spearheading to this point, you know, and Roman shot on him pretty good. I mean, I was kind of like, oh, shit, you know, like, that's going to be kind of hard for Cody to bounce back on. But then Cody, I mean, like, went straight off on a tangent about, you know, like, what he did set the precedent for wrestlers to get paid the same across all locker rooms, and you know that he even referenced his brother who's in AEW. And we were kind of talking before the show, and you know, there's Sammy cracked the armor in the bloodline, and I think Cody is kicking every bit of the armor down now. You know, he mentioned once he loses those titles, he loses everything. It's not just the titles, you know, and it. Oh God, dude, it was great, man. Because like I said, I mean, Roman talked about him leaving and quitting and running, and then I was like, shit, like, I don't know what Cody's gonna say to come back on it, and he was like, "Yep, I did, but this is why," and then he proceeded to in turn shut Roman down, where Roman just tossed the mic and walked out. I think, and it's gonna be a great match at WrestleMania. That's all I know.
Yeah. Dakota, what's your thoughts on it, bro?
This is starting to look like the Cody Rhodes that made the name for himself when he left WWE. And you can even ask John. I've liked Cody Rhodes since he did the whole dashing Cody Rhodes bullshit. I've always thought he was great, but this is the Cody that you saw in Ring of Honor, New Japan, not really all AEW. I don't know what the fuck he did there. But this is the Cody that got everybody behind him, and it's just great. The storytelling overall with the whole bloodline thing is whoever wrote this fucking storyline needs to get an Oscar for it. It's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Joe, what's your thoughts on it, bro?
I mean, I thought it was fantastic. Bone showing the face down between the two of them. Like, talk about two powerhouses in the ring. I can't think of many more people who are better suited to face each other. It hurts me to say, man, I've loved Roman Reigns since the Shield FCW days. Like, I'm a big fan of Roman Reigns. And I don't think he's got the energy. I don't think he's got the mindset he needs going in. He looked shook talking to Cody last night. And Cody's a hell of a fighter. I absolutely loved watching his comeback, and he's hungry for it. I mean, he is hungry for it, and he brought a ferocity and an honesty into the ring last night that makes me think going into WrestleMania, I think it's going to be the Cody Rhodes show. And as a Roman Reigns fan, that hurts me to say, but I mean, the writing's on the wall, and I think we can be looking for a hard fought, but ultimately won by Cody Rhodes match there. It's going to be brutal either way. It's going to be a lot of people get hurt. It's going to be bonds broken. But at the end of the day, I do think we're going to see Cody Rhodes lift that belt up in the air.
Well, I'm on the opposite end of that. I think Roman's going to win just so he gets his 1,000 days as champion, because we ain't seen that since Bruno Sammartino.
Good point.
Either way, we're going to go ahead and go to our ratings for the entire show. Joe, we're going to start for you with you first. Give us your grade for the show.
Man, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, and the 0.5 is only because of the Omos. That was almost a waste of time. But other than that, man, that was one of the best Raws I've ever watched.
So what would you give that on a scale to A to F?
Oh,
We do letter grades around here, sir. We do A to F, okay?
John, you can't count past 4.
I'm
We
sorry.
don't do numbers.
I didn't realize there were a bunch of Nancys. I'll give it an A minus if that speaks to your sensitive feelings anymore.
Ooh.
only because of the Omos, man. That would be A plus all around if it weren't for that. I felt like I lost 10 minutes watching that fight.
That's fair.
Lost 10
Dakota.
minutes for a 2-minute match. That's the worst part. You know what I mean?
Dakota, what's your grade for the entire show?
I would just give it a solid A, not an A plus, A minus, just solid A. The almost thing is, I don't know what part of your brain the almost thing tickles, but you need to go get it checked, and it should probably wear a helmet.
All right. I feel attacked at this point. Ken.
You ain't been attacked yet, China. Just wait.
My God. Ken, what is your grade on the entire show?
I'm falling in the solid A as well. Omos, you know, it was just a show of strength. I get why they did it, but but outside of that, man, I give it a solid A. I mean, all the mic work, wrestling matches, everything was amazing. And I think we're gonna start getting that type of quality in because we're in the last 2 weeks before Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 2 more SmackDowns, another Raw, and I think we're gonna get the same level caliber of storytelling, mic work, and everything else.
Yeah. I'm going to give the show an A. and it's not for the Omos thing, because unlike the rest of you three fucks, I actually look forward to that match with Brock Lesnar.
And it's okay to be wrong.
You know what? I'm only giving it an A because Damage Control wasted a little bit of our time.
But
it is what it is.
They did, but Bailey's ass alone carried it through.
John, I gotta say, man, my disappointment with the Omos is not because I'm not. I'm gonna go against the current here for the other two, you chuckle fucks. I am excited about. I think the Brock and the Omos fight is going to be fantastic. I'm extremely excited about the fight. I just think watching Omos beat a midget into the ground was not very exciting and not a great use of my Monday fucking night. That's why I'm disappointed in the fight. That's about it. I don't give a shit about anything else. The rest of it, the fight itself is going to be great. Brock Lesnar is a legend. Omos is freakishly large. Game, set, match.
Well, I got somebody who's also excited about that match. Thank God.
Wrap around up.
Wrap around.
Yeah, a little wrap around. But anyways, so make sure you follow us on Twitter at Cheap Pop Podcast, on Instagram at the Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Pop This Potty for the cheap. Make sure you like our Facebook page. We're under the T&J Sports Podcast. Make sure you go listen to our March Madness picks. I'm doing absolutely fucking horrible. Dakota is absolutely lighting the world on fire on his picks over there, except for his pick on Memphis. We see how that went.
It hurt. It cost me a $1,200 fucking 5-legger parlay, man. Like, we've been picking every game that's played, and we've only missed 4 games so far with betting, and it's just atrocious. And you know, they just don't make ceiling fans like they used to. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Anyways, yeah, just make sure you give us a follow on all those. Give us a like. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast. Give us a comment under the thing below about how great Joel's beard is compared to mine.
Under below.
Hey, go fuck yourself. Hey, every show I've gotten one of those in. A little go fuck yourself for the Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik 316 says go fuck yourself. All right, but anyways, Hook signing out.
That's signing out.
Joel signing out.
Before I go, I just want to say I did not sleep with that intern. In fact, I was up all night. And that's how you better get it, kid. All right, goodbye, everybody.